Hi, and welcome to Fabric Buys. It is Saturday, September 30th, 2023, and this is my latest project. It is a very, very simple seat sack. It is unlined, and it does have raw edges, or you can choose not to have raw edges. So, I've been thinking about doing seat sacks for a little while, and then my sister sent me this one. I think she got it at Dollar Tree, maybe Dollar Tree or 99, one of those stores. I threw away the package, so I don't know. And I finally decided that it was time to get it done. I really want to use the seat sacks. And the ones that I have are huge, and I don't like them, and they're black. So I wanted to replace them. So I took this one in because the chairs are someplace else, and they're not at my house. I took this one in thinking that it would fit and it would give me an idea of any adjustments I needed to make. And it turned out it was way, way big. And I didn't have any marking pens with me, so I just used masking tape. I slipped it over the chair, and I used the masking tape to guide me as to where the edges were. And I used that to set up a practice to do a prototype. And one of the reasons I wasn't too worried about it was because, see, it has this elastic, and I thought, oh, that's good. That gives me some flexibility. I'll just sew to these dimensions. I'll put some elastic on and slip it over the seat, see how it fits. Well, when I took it in, it turned out to be perfect without the elastic. So I fit it on the seat exactly. I kind of just held it together on the chair, and I went, oh, look, if I just sew down, that's going to be an exact fit. So I came home, ripped out the elastic, slipped it over the chair, and it did fit. I sewed two. I took a second one in at the same time just to check and make sure everything was going to work. And so my dimensions ended up being, again, small chair, 13.5 inches wide by 36 to 36.5. I'm using remnants that I got during the 70% off sale. And I just took and cut that 13.5 inches wide by 36 to 36.5 inches long strip. And then I cut out, wrong piece. I cut out a 21-inch body and a 10-inch pocket, larger pocket, and a 5 to 5.5 inch smaller pocket. And then on the top edges that are going to be exposed, I just rolled the hems. And I have a rolled hem foot on my machine that I learned how to use when we were sewing all the masks. So here it is. If I can find the video that I used to learn how to use my rolled hem foot, I'll link it below, but it's been a while, so I'm not sure I'll be able to find it again. But essentially, there it is. There's just three pieces. Once you have the top edges rolled, so you don't have that exposed edge, and I'll show you, it's nice. And if you haven't used a rolled hem, it's really, really nice because it just cuts out that ironing step in the middle. You don't have to do it. It's way quicker. So once you have it all done on your body piece, what I did was, because of the commercial one that I had, it had this essentially a 7-inch fold over. I did a 7-inch fold over here, and that also worked with the measurements of what I wanted for my pockets. So just folded that over, so exactly like that, wrong sides together. And that I took my 10-inch pocket and my 5.5-inch pocket, I laid them together, and then I sewed to divide this lower pocket. That kind of gives it so it doesn't flop open as much. And I'm putting an 8.5 by 5.5 inch little booklet in here, so I don't need it to be that really long width. And then this allows me to put that booklet here and then something else over here if I want to. So just mark the line and set straight down here, had that folded over, I have my raw edges done. And then this pocket assembly lays on top of this body like this, and you just match the lower edges and your side edges up. And you're not ready to sew it yet, because up here you still have raw edges. And on mine, I wanted to have that t-shirt effect where it kind of narrowed up at the top. So what I did was, after I had my pocket in place and I knew where it was going to stop up here, I marked from here, I marked a line here, and then I measured in 2 inches, and then I just eyeballed and made a curve here. I didn't use anything in particular. You could probably use a really big plate to get that curve if you needed something as a guide on that one. But I just used a chalk marker and marked here, and then took my pockets aside and folded this so my opposite raw edges are together, and then I cut it as one. So I would have matching raw edges on both sides of my SeatSack. So that gives me, then I end up with this effect right here. So there it is, those curved edges. So you're almost to the point where you can just sew it together, but now you have the issue where this is raw here. So also here what I did was I used my rolled hem foot and I rolled the hem, which is, it's totally possible to do that. You just have to go a little bit slower because now you have a curve. And so once you get that raw edge taken care of here and here, then you again fold your body piece together, matching all those edges up, and then lay your pocket assembly face down on top of that, lining up your edges here. And then all you're going to do is sew from here all the way down and around and all the way back up again. And as you see, I'm clipping. I have a double clip here and a double clip here, and I will actually clip more, not too much more. You don't need to. But the double clip here and here is a reminder to me, this is where the small pocket top is, where the top of it is. And I want a back stitch right here. And I want a back stitch right here on the top of each side. And the reason I put the double clip in is because so many times I go and I'm thinking, as I'm sewing here, I'm thinking 2 steps ahead of myself. And so I just plow through and go all the way through and I forget to backstitch. I really want to backstitch here and here to reinforce the top of that pocket. I also, when I sew, I backstitch my corners because it just makes me feel good. I know I'm going to be clipping across there pretty close. So I just go ahead and backstitch that before I clip my corners. So sew all the way around, backstitching here. If you like to backstitch your corners, backstitch here, clip your corners, and then you just flip your pocket out, right side out, and then press it. And once you have it pressed, you can top stitch the edge. So on this one, I top stitch the edge right here. And then if you really don't want to have exposed seams here, rather than top stitching close like this, you can actually come in a little bit more. Before you flip it, you can trim off, so you're trimming closer, and you can make pretty much a French seam here and stitch over a little further over, and that will catch your raw edges inside the seam, so you don't have any raw seams at all. The reason I'm not doing that is I don't really mind having the raw seams inside the pocket. Then it's not going to be an issue for me. And when you do it, when you sew it here, you're also making this depth, this width here, smaller. And so at this point, I'm not actually sure that this will fit my chair because I've sewn so much further over. But it's okay because this is an extra anyway. I'm going to use it, see if it fits. But I'm really not worried about that exposed edges in here, inside the pocket. But if you are, you can, take that into consideration. Maybe you go a little bit wider to make, so you can make this a little bit deeper seam on that one. So there it is. I hope you like it. I hope that wherever, whenever you're at, you're having a great time. Thanks for watching.